Right, I officially came out of my really weird, what do you even call it? My slumber, I guess? I don't freaking know. Like my awakening or something. I don't know, I was out for 2 weeks, so I'm probably gonna post a short after this. I don't freaking know. I have free will after work and do whatever I want. But I guess I'm making a YouTube video, so let's share what we're doing it on this time. Make a video on thermodynamics, you nitwit. Well, I don't know what I'm doing today. Let's get to work. So, thermodynamics, it's the study of how heat affects things at a macroscopic level. Now, what is macroscopic? This fence is macroscopic, you can see it. My hand is microscopic, you can see it. The pixel on this is macroscopic because you can see this. Although the lines in the code are not macroscopic because you cannot see it. Macroscopic is something that you can see without using a telescope or such. So basically anything can be macroscopic. So we know that heat obviously affects, molecules because they start shaking and all that crap. Stuff you learn at like primary probably. But thermodynamics, it focuses on how heat affects things that you can see. So let's get straight into it, don't we? In thermodynamics, there are 4 laws. 3 if you don't include the 0th law, because people just believe it's fundamental. So I'm just gonna go through them real quick with you guys. So if you want to see more videos like regarding science and stuff, I guess, subscribe, and watch this video again, or comment. I want to see more science videos, I guess. I don't know. Do whatever you want, man. So the 0th law, thermal equilibrium. Now, that sounds really fancy and crap, but it's actually really simple. Now, thermal equilibrium just says if two things are in contact with each other, they will be in thermal equilibrium with each other. And then, I'm just gonna break that down to you guys. So, thermal equilibrium is thermal and equilibrium. We all know what thermal is: heat, cold, temperature. Now, an equilibrium is a state where if a hot and cold object are together, the hot object will always cause the cold object to heat up. Let's try this. It will always cause the cold object to heat up to the point where the cold object will be neutralized to the point of the hot object. Now, thanks, not working. Give me a sec. Right. And then, see? This is what thermal equilibrium is about. Simply that if a hot object is in touch with the cold object will eventually be neutralized with the hot object. Now, this cannot be the other way around, obviously. The hot object will always cause the cold object to become the same temperature as the hot object. They will neutralize each other to the point where, to some extent, the hot object will become colder, but to an extent, they will eventually be neutralized to the same state. The first law, I also really hate this, is that convention of energy. I'm pretty sure you've known this from I think it's Albert Einstein or some crap. Energy cannot be destroyed whatsoever. Let's take this grass for example. Even if I destroy it, I turn off particles, boo-hoo. That kinetic energy which I use to destroy it, it still exists in a different form. The same for the one that I used to destroy this. That energy is simply applied to a different thing. When it gets destroyed, what happens? It shatters. Stuff happens. If I break a piece of glass, that energy is in the impact. And what happens to the impact? Sound waves. Things will always exist. You cannot destroy energy, neither can you create it. It can only be transferred. The Big Bang was a giant energy wave, and we're technically living from the Big Bang's energy wave. That was easy to explain. I thought it was. Anyways, the second law is entropy. It sounds like a fancy word, but really it isn't. Now, entropy is basically. Let me just check my notes right here. Entropy, and in thermodynamics, it simply says that like the total entropy of an isolated object will will eventually, over a spontaneous time, will become really cold. Now, let's say that this oxidized copper gold statue, that is a isolated system of everything. Let's just say that air doesn't exist here. Now, let's just say that, and then with entropy, eventually this thing is gonna get really cold. It's spontaneous. We don't know when it happens. Probably it's isolated, so like it's gonna happen. Same with our universe. That's how we know about like the heat death or like the cold death, as you may call it, because eventually, because our universe is such an isolated system, it'll eventually become so cold we'll just die. But that's in pure trillions of years. And let's be honest, Christ's second coming is like in 16 years, so like I'd say all of us are fine. Unless we kill him again. Which won't happen. Because he's gone now. So anyways, yeah. If you are 5, poof. That's gonna happen to like everything in this universe in like a trillion years or so. Anyways, the final law of thermodynamics. Yes. The third law is that absolute zero. If you play Mortal Kombat, you know about absolute zero. If you don't, and like you're in what, like at least 7th grade, then you probably know about absolute zero. Absolute zero, aka 0 Kelvin, is the theoretical limit of how cold something can get. Negative 273.15 Celsius. That is the theoretical limit which they could get. Now, this is just the coldest block in Minecraft in general, blue ice. I use this to represent it, but like, it's not even really a good representation. It's just the coldest block that I could find, so like, yeah. I don't even know how to explain this segment. Like, is a theoretical limit of how cold something can get. Boom, done. Anyways, for the dude who messaged me and requested this video, you're welcome. I can't even feel this time, so I'm just gonna end the video because I'm really sick right now. So, subscribe because this took me a lot of research, and I have a ton of more videos coming up. So, yeah.